Hi, my name's Jason Jadon. I'm a supporter of Fulham Football Club. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, but my second home is the Cottage, and you're listening to DU Football Show.
Very good, very good. Jason was great on the show last week.
It was.
I tell you, Sammy, we're finally done with all that, though. All the craziness, the little summer mayhem that we like to do, it's done. It's back to you, it's back to me, it's back to kind of her, and now we just get out there and we do a show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland, bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right, A.A. the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me is the top of the table, Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing?
Enjoying my 1 point.
You know, just for a week, right?
From that second round. Just enjoying my 1 point. Okay? Arsenal, I assume you're speaking of in real life. And yes, it is lovely, my friend.
And that joke isn't going to die down until you finally lose one, is it?
Nope.
You're going to just keep going top of the table, top of the table.
That's all you got to say, bro. Scoreboard, okay?
top of the table until Man City has 2 games in, and then that goal differential will mean something.
Not necessarily. Remember, we play West Ham this weekend.
That's true. We're recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with your footballing friends. And should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Sure. We are at DUfootballshow on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
So I'm going to paraphrase this because it was actually a little long, but we have 2 listeners in Belgium, Sam, that we've discovered.
Awesome.
They reached out to us.
Fantastic.
It was one of them reached out to us, Brandy.
What did Hagen and Das have to say?
It was Brandy actually reached out to us. She's an American that lives in Belgium with her husband, and her husband apparently is a longtime Villa supporter, and she has gotten into Villa as well.
Already sounds like a very smart man.
Yeah, exactly. and then she got into Villa also as well. She did fantasy sports last year.
Very smart woman.
Very new to the game, but has been listening to our show and appreciates what all we've been doing. She does go into very great length, which I do appreciate, of teaching us how to say Kevin De Bruyne. It's not bro, nah, so it's like the where we think it's an O, it's an eh. So it's Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, is how it's supposed to be pronounced. Hopefully, I got it right, but it was cool. That was very nice. But there were 6 key points that she pointed out of why she's been listening to the show, and I think this is worth reading off real quick. All right,
love it.
All right. So, like me, Mel is a recent villain, and I appreciate her unabashed love of Jack Grealish. We have that in common. We used to live in D.C., so being from that area makes me a bit nostalgic. I really miss D.C. My husband bets on football, and I don't really understand it. So your segments on sports betting is a bit helpful and hilarious because, well, here's the thing.
We have a fucking chicken, mate.
Follow the chicken's bets. They're probably going to hit. Yeah. Don't follow our bets. They probably won't.
Except for one of them. It did this week.
You win one and suddenly we're all chesty.
1 for 1.
Yeah, you were down $3,000 last season.
Call me Tits McGee.
Yeah, you lost your child's first year of books for college, okay?
We need to pull out the Sports Direct mug, I assume.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You know football well, and none of you support a team that is Villa's rival, so that's important because we would talk a lot of shit if we did. And number 6, most importantly of everything, Malort.
Nice.
She does recommend a little bit more producer Mel, and of that I say mute button.
Oh, man, this is my new best friend you're talking about there, dude.
I'm going to tell your highness you're cheating on her.
Well, you know, I can have two best friends.
All right, but yeah, very, very, very glad to hear. And that's exactly what we love. So please, if you're new to the show, please reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what it is you like about football and ask questions. No stupid questions, no dumb questions. Feel free to ask away. We'd love to answer. Not a problem.
I have one maybe dumb question.
Sure.
But I'm not saying that it pertains to her necessarily.
Okay.
But she living there may have firsthand knowledge of why that is a situation. Do you remember the beginning of COVID when the health minister of Belgium came out and said that we have to ban orgies?
Okay.
Due to COVID? Why is that a thing?
Okay.
Just want to know, is that like happening everywhere?
Is that a regular thing in Belgium?
What's the deal with that?
We are certainly not being accusatory to you,
No,
Brandy,
not at all.
But,
not at all.
But
I've been wondering for 6 months.
If you got some insight, apparently Graham needs to know.
I just want to know. I remember it being a story. I want to know why.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we will have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, what are we sipping on tonight?
We have Dad's Hat, Pennsylvania Rye Whiskey, which is this particular iteration, is finished in port wine barrels. 94 proof, and will run you about $49.99 to $59.99 on the shelf, and it is an excellent little whiskey. A lot of dark fruit flavors you get from those port barrels, a little bit of chocolate, and then that nice rye pepper finish is very complimentary.
Yeah, so they do a rye finish and a vermouth finish. They are also from 2015. They did win a Best Craft Whiskey.
Port finish and a vermouth finish.
Yeah, port finish and a vermouth finish. My apologies.
No, you're good.
They also won Best Handcrafted Whiskey by Whiskey Advocate back in it was either 2015 or 2016 that they won. One of their two owners is a savant when it comes to being able to taste and blend barrels. I had the opportunity to hang out with them for a day and just go through and pick out barrels and the notes, the crazy shit he picked out. And yeah, I know there's a bit of subliminal, when you hear it, you think it kind of
and
thing.
And then you taste it.
Right. Yeah. But there were things that for me, I was trying to figure out what they were. And then just kind of hearing him, I'm going, okay, I can taste that. I can detect that. And that was me not doing he said that. I drank it and went, oh, now I taste it. It was, I drank it, kind of waiting when it's like, okay, yeah, that felt like something, but like just an odd, crazy palate. And the man knows how to fucking blend whiskey like there's no tomorrow.
Can I tell you something that I get on the front of this?
Mm-hmm.
Dried apricot.
Okay. I could give you dried fruit, definitely dried fruit,
yeah,
and definitely dried tropical fruit.
But then it gives way to that deep, dark finish, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lovely little whiskey.
Yeah,
it really is.
Very complex. I'm very much enjoying it.
All righty, kids, let's have a great show.
Oh, quick note before we start.
Yes.
If we were talking about the goal differential, if it needs to be said, a quick shout out to the WSL. If the men's team performs anything like the West Ham women's team, and vice versa for the Arsenal men performing as the Arsenal ladies did, we will have a +8 goal differential at the end of that. Yeah, because 9-1 that finished. Yeah, it just needs to be said. It was absolutely fantastic. And fuck Alex Morgan for joining Spurs.
Oh, and second behind you currently in the table after 2 matches, EVERTON. Also 2-0, just behind you on goal differential.
Yep. There you go. After 9-1 thrashing. Yeah.
That would make a little bit of a goal differential now, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
What you hope for is when you play them, you do the same. That's what you kind of hope for.
Correct.
All right. I didn't want to open with this game. Seriously, the egos are big enough as it is. I did not want this to be the game we have to open about. But it's 7 fucking goals. We have to open with this game. Liverpool 4, Leeds 3. 7 goals, a hat trick, 3 times come back to tie the game. I mean, it's for an opener, you could not ask for better. It was fabulous.
Not. Yeah. I did feel a little dirty after this game. 2 pens being called for the champions, of course. They were both deserved, but Still felt a little dirty.
Oh, God, yeah.
But one weekend, we already get a naked Bielsa. So there's that, which I think is a positive note. They will need to order a little extra disinfectant to Anfield to clean down the physio's room.
It is confirmed he went naked?
No, it's not confirmed,
Okay.
but he said it himself.
Okay. You just want to hope. You want to hope.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, Mohamed Salah with the hat trick, which was excellent. Virgil van Dijk scoring as well. Virtually unmarked with a big-time header. But Salah's second goal was really the one.
Oh.
A laser beam.
Gorgeous shot.
It was a weekend for Rockets.
Oh, there was several.
Oh, yeah. These were the Rocket men this weekend. There was a few that were just on a string. Fucking laser beams. They were fantastic. The penalties were both taken well by Mohamed Salah. The first one absolutely crushed straight down the throat. And then the second penalty was also very well struck to the left side of the goal. Goalkeeper going the wrong way.
This was for Leeds. These are stupid fouls that now these refs are better. They're going to catch them. And the eye in the sky, VAR, is going to catch them. These are things as a championship side, which they've been for such a long time. You got to learn a little bit of nuance. You're in the box. You can't go wildly swinging your leg, because if you are, somebody will put themselves in the way of that leg.
Absolutely.
They'll see it and go, I'm going right there. Going down, coach. Give me that penalty.
But I don't think Fabinho dived.
No.
No, he got caught.
Oh, yeah. But it's just that wild swing from Rodrigo. And then on the handball, it was just
a rush of blood to the head, it seemed.
What are you doing with the hand all the way up in the air?
Yeah,
that
was bad.
Idiot. You got to keep the arms down. That's honest. And then, not covering Van Dijk on the front post. That is
textbook stuff. He scored again, but was offsides later on as well.
Precisely.
Again, from a set piece. It's like, is the biggest dude in their team.
Right.
On set pieces, pretty good chance they're trying to find him.
Right.
You got to fucking mark the guy. It's that simple.
And frankly, you shipped 4 goals to the defending champions, but the defending champions weren't at 100%. They were kind of sleepwalking a little bit there.
Yeah.
So you shipped 4 fucking goals to them. So
Absolutely.
That's certainly something to be concerned about. As great as their offense presence was going forward, and of course we'll talk about that in just a moment. It was great. It was beautiful soccer to watch. It was just fun, but man, doesn't that scream of like Blackpool the year that they were in the league?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're like, okay, well, that's going to work for about 3 months, and then everybody's going to murder you.
Yeah, 100%. They also, Leeds, from their perspective going forward, was brilliant. They had a game plan. They stuck to that game plan. They targeted Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was called out of position a few times.
Yes.
And targeted Van Dijk over the top, running towards his own goal, which we saw a couple of times last season, towards the end of last season, after the restart, that he fucked it.
Okay, so just
completely buggered it up.
Dumb thoughts on the first goal, dumb thoughts on the second goal that have nothing to do with the goal itself.
Okay.
First goal. Scored the goal. It was Harrison, right? Puts it in the back of the net.
The first one, I will tell you right now, was Jack Harrison. Yes.
Yeah, Harrison puts it in the back of the net. Camera immediately over to Bielsa. Bielsa sitting on a box, sipping a hot beverage, doing his best Kermit the fucking Frog.
Yeah.
I expected that shit. Just sipping tea.
Yeah.
Just sipping tea here. This is how we roll. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Fucking
right.
Loved that.
It was brilliant.
Audibly laughed out loud. I just went, ah! The minute I saw that.
Yeah.
Second one.
Okay.
Van Dijk fucks up, gives up the goal.
To Patrick Bamford.
Yes.
Yep.
Van Dijk's new move, because he did this last season against you guys when he fucked up and gave up the goal. He now stops, looks around, and puts his hand in the air as if to want to give a card to somebody. Like, looks to the ref going, like, card.
Yeah. It's not even the open hand offsides call. It's the closed 2 fingers.
Holding a card in the air. Like, no, if anybody should be giving you a fucking card, you twat, it's you. Because you just done fucked up.
Absolutely.
So look for that one, because he's now done it twice. And if you do it twice, that tends to become a trend. So and just my pure hatred of Liverpool, I'm going to be looking out for that, of course.
No, 100%. Both defenses had a torrid time. But you always get one barn burner to open the season.
Oh, yeah.
I was just a bit surprised it was this game. But I guess if you look back on the evidence at the end of last season, Leeds actually picked themselves back up and had a little bit of momentum where Liverpool sputtered a bit to the end.
Yeah.
Especially after they had the trophy, had the Premier League trophy in their pocket. They just fucked off the rest of the season. It wasn't anything. And it's kind of hard to get yourself out of that. Mohamed Salah did finally get a haircut, looking sharp.
Yep.
Yep. New boy for Leeds, Robin Koch, started, the German international.
Yep. He was responsible for the first penalty, unfortunately.
Do you want to say he had a hard time?
Yeah. Heard.
Mel, his last name's Koch. There was no fluidity flowing through him.
What are you, 5? Come on. You're better than that, Graham.
Nope. No, I'm not.
Is
and you know that. I am not.
first week of your season 3 coverage. And yeah, dick jokes?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's face it.
You've known me for a long time.
We do this show just to make dick jokes. It's really, it makes us giggle like that.
As long as the new listeners know what they're in for.
Yeah, precisely. Now, I don't want to
more whiskey.
What I don't want to do is use the word hangover, Sam, because that's a bit too brash of a word. I think it was overconfidence on the part of Liverpool. I think Liverpool walked out there and kind of just went, all right, we're clearly the better team. We're gonna get them. We're gonna walk over them. And they were clearly a more talented side, but I don't think they were ready for the bum rush that was Leeds. That is Bielsa.
It was a chip on their shoulder. They walked out with a chip on their shoulder, and they didn't show Leeds enough respect. And Jurgen Klopp even said it at the beginning. We have to show them respect. He looked frantic in his technical area and almost in awe at what Bielsa and his side were doing.
And again, Bielsa sitting on a box, sipping fucking tea.
Sipping tea, yeah. And then rubbing his ass cheeks all over the physio's table in the dressing room.
Just brilliant. Just fucking brilliant.
Absolutely love it.
And now
dare I say that Liverpool approached this game with as much confidence as one of our friends did at my wedding and ended up with whiskey cock.
Heard. Very good.
Instead of a hangover.
Going in soft, Cotton. Going in soft.
All right, I'm done with the Robin Koch for today.
So what can be said, though, for this is, Klopp is not going to let his boys look like that again. And their next match is going to be against Chelsea. And, Chelsea, they won, but I don't think it was as convincing as maybe as it should have been. And we'll get on to that later. I have a feeling Liverpool is going to be all engines humming for this next game against Chelsea. Expect them to be
absolutely
back to fucking work.
This is probably going to be the hardest week of training they'll see in a while. And I say that because Leeds actually had more possession in this game at fucking Anfield.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking intense. The fake crowd noise is starting to get on my nerves a bit. I told you I'd rather hear them communicate because I know it's fake. I can see the stands. Right?
Right.
Doesn't get you excited. There's always a delay. And a goal like Mohamed Salah's second really, really exemplifies how sad it is to not have fans there.
Oh, God,
yes. The way that place would have been rocking. Just as a football supporter, you want to see the ground would have been alive, right? To see every time they would have panned over to the Leeds corner, to the away section, for each goal, would have been pandemonium.
The Kop end goes up 1-0. The Leeds supporter side 1-1. The Kop end 2-1. The Leeds 2-2, 3-1. I mean 3-2, 3-3, 4-3 in the last minutes of the game. Jesus, that crowd would have been insane. Especially the crowd would have been losing their fucking mind on their team. They'd have been hard on them.
Absolutely.
It'd have been real. Well, Liverpool fans tend not to be. They tend not to be hard. They tend to be quiet.
Right.
When Liverpool's not playing well at Anfield, they tend to get very, very quiet.
Strangely, unless it's in the Champions League, and then that's when they're the loudest.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, no, so it really for me drove home how much we miss fans in the stadium and how annoying. I'm sorry, the artificial crowd noise is for me.
Right,
because when that ball hit the back of the net, they'd have been screaming before the ball hit the back of the net, and I didn't get 6 seconds
right
until after the ball struck that the button was actually pushed, and it's like, come on, man, you have one fucking job. Just push the goddamn button. Just like Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. Like Chris Tucker from Rush Hour, when he's got Soo Young next to him and he's taunting Jun Mao to blow them up.
Right.
Just push a button. Push a button. And then Soo Young goes, push the goddamn button.
Both of our sides started off the season with convincing wins, Sam. Very convincing wins.
Yes,
at that.
they were.
Extra satisfying for you that we beat your rivals in their building.
Much appreciated.
Arsenal 3, Fulham 0, Everton 1, Tottenham 0. Interesting little side point is I believe of the 8 matches, 7 of the 8 of them, the away side won.
Yep.
Leeds was the only one not to win away.
Yeah, but newly promoted side again going to the champions. You didn't really expect them to win necessarily on the face of it anyway.
Right, but it was away sides all across the board. You know what? Professional win for you guys. Arteta has that engine purring like a fucking kitten right now.
After we're still getting used to certain things. A couple players that really haven't played together before at all, in Gabriel and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Had an early cock up and almost cost us. That was about the 3rd minute on a back pass that was misplaced. Leno did well to get it clear. But from that point forward, it was all Arsenal the entire time.
Yeah.
On Instagram today, they did a side-by-side of, well, it was top and bottom actually. But it was the goal from the Community Shield that Aubameyang scored and then the goal that Aubameyang scored in this game. And it was play out of the back. It was almost identical.
Right.
You know, little clearance, little dink up to midfield from the right back position after playing up the middle and then out to the side. A flick on, different player picks it up. In this case, it was Willian. In that game, it was Bukayo Saka. Ball floated across. Aubameyang gathers, isolated 1v1 with the right back, cuts inside. Bender to the far post. Absolutely fucking brilliant and a great way to cap off this lovely win. Lacazette on the score sheet as well with a scrappy-ass goal. Somehow they were crediting Willian with an assist. Even though he shot the ball, it was saved and fell to Lacazette. But earned somebody some fantasy points they didn't deserve, but that's okay.
How about that for Willian? First free kick. Xhaka didn't even stand over the ball. It was already nope.
He smacked the post.
He knows how to take them really well. We're gonna let him do his job.
It was a great free kick as well. Slapped the outside of the post. Just got a little unlucky. I think the keeper was beaten there.
A lot of selflessness out of your side and some newfound depth as well because El Neni again looked perfectly serviceable in
100%.
defensive midfield for you. You have Ceballos back. When Torreira's healthy, you now got 4 in the midfield that you got to feel pretty fucking good about.
Yep.
You've got lots of rotation up top between youth and experienced players that you can work around. Not that in. I'll ask this question a little bit later. Fucking, you know what? Go ahead and ask this now with Aubameyang. Is it an okay thing that he's not signed on a contract?
For now, yes.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
But David Ornstein, the Oracle, the one with the most inside information at Arsenal, has tweeted that Aubameyang is to sign a new 3-year deal and will become the club's highest paid player.
Wow.
Which makes me think we will invest in a youth goalkeeper or a younger person that has signed professional terms, 19, 20-year-old,
right,
for cheap. And the rest of the money we've raised from the sale of Emi Martinez is going to pay Aubameyang's contract.
No, that would make sense. That would make perfect sense.
We have the money for both him and then Ozil to finish his Fortnite tournament esports for us.
So if you lose him, right? If you lose him, be it to you lose him on a free and he moves on. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing because he's clearly getting it, right? He knows either he's getting the contract or he's going to get the payday somewhere else,
right?
And he'll
move on to Barcelona and get paid. Almost $1 million a week.
He's not being a petulant child. He's playing. He's playing hard.
He's a true professional.
He's performing. This is not normally the case. Normally, there's a lot of bitching and whining and moaning and sell me now, sell me now, sell me now bullshit.
Well, but it is the case in the first part of the season.
Right.
In January, when they signed that pre-contract offer to go somewhere else, that's when performances start to dip.
Yep.
Because the new club with the pre-contract contract is don't fucking get yourself hurt. You know what I mean?
Not saying that you can replace him. I'm not saying you could replace him. But if that were to happen, there's enough kids fucking playing that you could start to work them in and not have to worry about him handcuffing you.
Right.
You can just go, okay, great. You're moving on to a new side. There's the fucking bench.
Now,
Enjoy it.
We want him, obviously, to stay. But if he fires us into the Champions League also, that's going to come with it a lot of money.
Right.
And with some of the other players that we have in the team, I think we could attract a proper replacement and still be able to bed the kids in here and there as we have done since Arteta's taken charge.
Yeah, it's
I really hope
win-win.
All that being said, I really hope he signs a new contract. He's been brilliant for us. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon, and he's in blistering form right now.
In 3 years, getting close into his 30s. Okay, so by the time he starts to lose his legs is right at the end of his deal, and you've done what you're supposed to do, and he's done what he's supposed to do, and he's gotten paid very handsomely to do it. So it seems like all the chips are falling into the right place. Now let's move on to Fulham a little bit. So Fulham started the exact same lineup that started the championship playoff win over Brentford.
Yep.
I think this was probably a good thing because you take that side, because remember, the last time they came up, it was a completely newly bought team with a handful of pieces from that team. And you bring up the exact same side, you put them out there, and you put them against a professional fucking Big Six, probably vying for European club, and you take a little bit of an ass whipping, but you held your own. It wasn't terrible. At 3-0, that game could have become 5-0. That game could have become 6-0.
Yeah.
It didn't. You held in, you got stuck in, you created a few chances, you had a few opportunities, and you look at it and you go, look, we had to play the one team that's in form the first game of the fucking season, right? That's the one team we get stuck with. And good news for you, you got him out of the fucking way.
Yeah, absolutely. In Fulham's case, you're absolutely right. And we could have had 5 or 6. The keeper made a couple of saves. Last-ditch defending was okay. And we squandered probably 1 chance, 2 chances. Were our own fault of not converting.
Real quick, would like to also a big shout out to Fulham in the South. Jason's crew that was with us last week. I jumped in a Zoom with them on Saturday morning and watched the match with them. Great getting their insights on the club. They do rally shirts. They do costume changes at halftime. They all change into different shirts when they watch the matches together. Nice. Whenever they go and watch matches at bars, they do that too. They go into the bathroom, they all change their shirt, come out in new shirts.
How Fulhamish. Can't be bothered to have sweat on this.
I went in there, and it's much like when you're in a church, you walk into a church, and the only thing going through your head is don't say fuck, don't say fuck, don't say fuck, don't say fuck, right? I walk in, I'm into the Zoom meeting, and I'm like, don't be the first asshole to say Fulhamish because you're a guest in their room. Be nice. Someone finally said it. I went, thank God. I was hoping I wasn't the first to say it. I wanted to be polite. I'm a guest in your Zoom room. So thank you very much.
That's brilliant.
I will say it's going to be tough for them.
Yes.
It will. Now, they have good defenders that they still haven't bedded in. They have a new keeper. I believe a new keeper they still haven't bedded in yet. So they've got people to bed in. And one of the things that we're really concerned about was their guys having to go against your guys, like having Tim Ream out there that's not going to be a problem soon. And as long as those new guys get bedded in, they'll be all right.
Yeah. And speaking of good defenders, Gabriel was the other one to get on the score sheet, by the way. On his debut.
Goal.
Fantastic header. I think the goalkeeper probably could have done better, but it was from very close range.
Mm-hmm.
However, did get him right between the wickets. But yeah, in terms of Fulham, I think they will be fine. I actually don't think, I can't remember it, of course. It's like in blackjack, when you look and then you put them down, you can't remember, or in poker, as soon as you fold your card, you can't remember what you had. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I can't remember what I predicted on Friday for our season predictions. I believe I had Fulham staying up this time. They to me, they have some chemistry. They're going to find it difficult to score goals at first, but I think Mitro will come good. I was actually surprised he did not start this game.
I had a knock after playing with Serbia.
Okay. But when he came on, he caused some problems. Had a couple of shots on target and just gave Arsenal's backline something to worry about. So I think the recipe is there for Fulham to pull a Villa and just stay up this season. But we'll see what Scott Parker does. He's an inexperienced coach. He's only had now, I think, 7 games in the Premier League after taking over from Ranieri at the end of not last season, but the season prior, relegation, and then a full season in the Championship. And that's the only top flight experience, or the only managing experience that he's had. So we'll see what happens with him, see if he's able to make adjustments and see if he can adapt to life in the Premier League.
Now let's move on to what's important. We're going to win the domestic treble. We've already won the league. I don't know why we're bothering doing shows because Everton is now the greatest team ever.
Okay. Well, I think you wrapped it up. James was excellent.
Wow. All three guys start, and it was like a completely. It was like you had a Camaro with a shit engine, and then you bought a new engine, put a new engine in, and then it started vrooming. And it was pretty remarkable to watch them play. They dominated Tottenham. That 1-0 scoreline is not indicative of what that game was.
No, I think
they owned them.
So Tottenham had a little bit more of the possession and had more shots on target technically, but you never felt like they were dangerous.
Their shots on target were out. Like they had two. Pickford had two big
I would say
saves.
1 or 2 chances that Pickford was fully equal to, but
most of them
that's all he really had to do.
Outside the box, half-hearted shots that went right into Pickford's chest or dribbled to Pickford even.
And a towering header from Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
You were talking about bullets.
Oh yeah,
that was a bullet.
The net looked like it didn't even move for real. It was that
it hit his head. And before it hit his head, it was already in the back of the net.
Yeah.
It was just like a lightning bolt.
Yeah. Lloris rooted to the spot, had a little bit of kepitis.
That ball from Luca Digne, that cross
was brilliant.
You could hear the commentators. It was Arlo as the ball went. He was like, "Oh my god!" Like as the ball went in the air, he was saying, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Like it was pretty amazing. Key things to take away is that you put a guy like James on the right side. And suddenly, Richarlison, you can't put 3 guys on him. And Richarlison did miss a sitter early on. He had a header at the back post that he just barely missed. And then he had two shots on target that just curved wide of the post as well in the second half.
Yep.
Those things happen because James is on the other side of the field. And also because James feeds balls from one side of the field to the other side of the field almost effortlessly.
100%. And I think it goes underrated how important Allen was. I only heard 2 pundits.
Oh my God.
I only heard 2 pundits all day today talking about it. And I thought he deserved a lot more respect. Anytime that Harry Kane, Dele Alli, or Son got on the ball, he was there like a fucking Hoover.
On him.
Yeah, like a Hoover commercial.
Remember 2 seasons ago, we had the Manchester City-Liverpool game, and I told you about where you would see Bernardo Silva was just literally in the screen of the television the whole match. Like, you always saw him. That was Allen. He was everywhere. And it was everywhere effortlessly. It wasn't like this, bulldog running around. It was just glided, boom, right where he needed to be. Boom, right where he needed to be.
All over the fucking place. He covered a lot of ground, and he did brilliantly.
Decore takes behind Lucas Moura, has 2 steps on him, catches him, makes a last-ditch tackle that was brilliant.
Yep.
That's a goal last season.
Absolutely.
With the team we had.
The other thing I want to say about Allen real quick is, just like Gabriel, to be honest, these 2 Brazilian lads, one, Gabriel, our guy, a center back, Allen more of a defensive midfielder. Right. What the 2 of them did brilliantly was I didn't see either one of them really go to ground. They both played stand-up defending. They contained first, put them into a position they wanted the attacking player in. They won the ball and then distributed the ball. It wasn't some helter-skelter bullshit that ended up in a 40-yard clearance. They won the tackle and were able to start the next play brilliantly. And that, I think, balanced both of our teams and really set us up and put a platform in place for us to go on and control those games.
So your 3 new Everton signings, direct impact, positive impact into the game. The 2 new Tottenham signings, the one, Daughtry, got subbed out with 20 minutes left in the match because he was getting worked by Richarlison.
You know, the worst part was I thought he was probably their best player.
Worked by him, and that's why they had to sub him out. And then Højbjerg gets a yellow, could have arguably been a red, and then at the end of the game, grabs and throws Richarlison to the ground, which should have been his second yellow. So he put himself out. you kind of want that out of a defensive midfielder. You want him to be a prick.
He was bought to be a cunt.
Right. That's his job. But in your new signings, their first match, one has to get taken out because he's getting worked, and the other one almost got himself taken out because he was being too much of a cunt.
Well, I've got some words of wisdom for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. As I've played that position before, get some braces. You thought it was going to be don't be a cunt, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did think it was going to be that. That's really disappointing for Spurs.
Oh, yeah, big time. Especially right after the documentary that is taking a very niche portion of Amazon Prime by storm, all the way up to 3 stars. All or nothing. Spoiler alert, it's nothing.
Rounding out the rest of the league in a segment we like to call, Oh, So That Happened. Wolves 2, Sheffield 0. Palace 1, Southampton 0. Newcastle 2.
Posh bastard.
I know, wasn't
Southampton.
it? Yeah, it's just, I was losing my air. Fuck off. Newcastle 2, West Ham 0. Chelsea 3, Brighton 1. Wolves scored 2 goals in the first 6 minutes.
Yeah, and Jimenez was brilliant. Lovely controlled side-footed finish first time from across. Should have never been in that position. I don't know who was supposed to be defending him, but they weren't.
No, not at all.
That was actually quite pitiful. And then a lovely header from Saiz.
And he had a couple of more opportunities in the first half and the second half to put it away for him.
They did. Wolves,
Ramsdale made one great save off Saiz on a ball that he knocked off the post. Really lovely save.
Yeah, so the rest of the game, there, like you say, there were some chances made, but I felt like there was a lack of conviction from both sides. Wolves were already comfortable.
Yep.
And Sheffield United just never got out of first gear in general during the match. So I think it was just like we're all amped up for the season. We're all amped up for the season. Shit, we're 2-0 down. Wolves on cruise control, and Sheffield United couldn't pick themselves up after that.
Right, and you can't blame Wolves for doing that. That's exactly what you want to do. Especially you play with such a small lineup. You play with, and you have just played such a daunting season. So yes, they're footballers. Yes, they should be able to play year round, and yes, they do play year round. But you still put a lot on them last season.
Absolutely.
And you come out, you get a quick couple of goals, and you're able to just go, all right, boys, let's fucking see this one out.
100%.
And that, I mean, you can't ask for better. Like, you really can't.
No. And what I'm disappointed in Sheffield United, because I'm a big fan of this, they picked the biggest bloke on the field, like Jail, and within the first 7 seconds, put his ass on the ground. That's what I used to do. I'm a huge proponent of just letting them know you're there.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then they capitulate like that within the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then again 2 minutes and 45 seconds later. It's like that first foul was all for naught. You tried to set the tone, and then you capitulated like the fucking Titanic.
So Wilder tends to have lots of pieces, and he constantly rotates them. Do you feel like he's got to just kind of find the right fit of guys that are going to... Because they all know the system, they all work the system, and they should be fine. Like this isn't a game to have a monster amount of concern over, but it got to be, you got to go, damn, we're starting to be done figured out. Like people are starting to know exactly how we play, and they're starting to be able to handle us. He has a lot of pieces, but it's not like he has a lot of great pieces. He has a lot of really good pieces, and that might not work.
No. And in the words of Serge Takarian from System of a Down, fuck the system.
Yeah.
He's got to change things up. He's got to freshen things up. They're going to need to add a piece or two that offers him something different. So I know it's not a Chris Wilder type of guy, right? But somebody like, say, who's the, why can't I think of his name? Deulofeu.
Yeah.
Or Roberto Pereira from Watford. Somebody like a flair guy that can take the game by the scruff of the neck, but especially defensively, you're going to have to cover for them a bit.
Yeah.
But they need something else up front. At least Musette can't do it all on his own.
Right. Well, Sharp's getting up there in years.
Getting up there in age a bit.
Well, Goldrick's okay. Again, it's a whole lot of very good, but not fucking great.
Absolutely. What I think they need is that flair player, that somebody that can provide that moment of brilliance and keep the opposition on their toes.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is a team that's going to easily handle the bottom half of the table and struggle with the top half of the table.
Yep.
And they'll lose a couple of head scratchers. They'll pull off a couple of gutsy wins. You know, they'll
pull a couple scalps.
They'll get like a 1-0 against United at home kind of thing.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
and then they're going to be sitting there at 12th, and you're going to be like, okay,
There it is.
And unfortunately, when you go into year 3, then suddenly you're really figured out, and you haven't spent the money. And suddenly you're struggling. So you're right. They're gonna have to find a second gear. They have to find a second gear.
Yeah, the lethargism, if that's a word, which I don't think it is, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
The act of being lethargic.
Yep.
If that continues, I would be the first one, and it would not surprise me one bit. Sophomore syndrome.
Yeah, I could definitely say that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an easy thing to agree upon.
Yep.
Fox has come out of the gate looking a little shaky, not really all together. Get a couple of penalties that help them out, but ultimately just, quality takes over and they win the game. I'm not 100% sold on all the pieces that have replaced for them as a whole. Like, defensively, once you get Evans back, Evans and Sinyochu are obviously stalwarts in the back. But
Yep.
I'm not so sold on Jarvis. Is it that's playing out on the outside for
Justin? No, Jarvis is one of my store owners.
Oh no,
I think it's Justin James, isn't it?
I thought it was Justin Jarvis. I thought it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% positive. Forgive me for not remembering.
It's all right.
But
they sold Ben Chilwell, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to bet in some young talent, or they're going to have to actually go spend some fucking money.
Right.
And I'm not sure that they're necessarily prepared to do that. You know what I mean? Oh, it's James Justin.
James Justin. There we go. Very good.
I was kind of right.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
I don't trust anybody with 2 first names.
I'm with you.
That was all.
Okay. Thank you for your input.
Again, you feel like they're a good club. They're like, you look at me and go, this is a perfectly safe club. But for Leicester, is that what you want to be? Like,
No.
you're a team that almost made the Champions League last year. You're a team
that won the title.
That won the fucking title.
And then made the Champions League again the following season.
Right. So you look at this and you go, all right, what do you want to be? What do you want your club to be? And there's and unlike the case of Sheffield, where it's a lot of good, not great, they got some really great players on that team. They got some really great players on the team, but they also got some really great players, like a guy like Vardy. Clock is fucking ticking, man. You got him for maybe 2-3 more. That's it. That's all you got him for.
And that's at the most. I mean, his legs could go at any minute. He's over 30 now.
And you're lucky he wants to stay. He's diehard loyal. Yep. So you get him on a relatively, you get him on a friend fucking price. And you get to keep him around. He stops playing international ball because he wants to keep himself
his career,
to play for you. You need to take the fucking advantage of that,
Absolutely. I think Harvey Barnes had a great game, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
the future is bright between Harvey Barnes and James Maddison at Leicester. If they can keep hold of both of those players, I think and Yuri Tillemans as well.
I'd like to see Tillemans step up a little bit more.
And Ndidi is still pretty young. Yeah. Relatively young. 25, maybe 26. So he'll be there for a few years to come as well.
Ndidi's one of those ones I'm scared they'll lose. Because there's always everybody always needs a hard-nosed defensive midfielder.
All 4 of those I'm scared they'll lose.
Right.
But if they can, their midfield is sorted. If they can hold on to them, their midfield is sorted.
Absolutely.
And if they can sustain another year or so of European football, it's time to fucking spend the Harry Maguire money.
Yeah.
On somebody to learn under Jamie Vardy, because it is not Kelechi Iheanacho. I promise you that.
Right.
It's also not Ayoze Perez.
Precisely.
So somebody else is going to have to get you goals.
Yeah.
And you need that person now, because we saw Vardy come back from lockdown and was in a bit of a 4 or 5 game slump.
Mm-hmm.
And so went the results. And that's why Leicester aren't in the Champions League this season.
And if you're going to buy a kid that's going to do it for you, you need to buy that kid now.
Yeah.
That kid needs to start getting playing time now.
Tell young Srinadaba Prava to jump on Wayfair and buy himself a child. I mean, no. I meant transfermarket.com.
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
Wrong website.
Sure thing, Alex Jones. Sure thing.
Sorry.
Well said.
Sorry. We just got done with a pizza party. I apologize. Hashtag deep state. Hashtag QAnon. What is it?
QAnon.
Whatever it is. I don't know. Trump 2020. Fuck off, you rat bastard. Fucking conspiracy theorist
Oh,
twats.
you are just on a roll.
I'm like, just let him keep going. See how much he can hang
I mean,
himself.
it's pretty.
I'm not hanging
pretty
anything.
brilliant.
This is called irony.
Oh my God, this is fantastic. Pat is currently calling me right now as we're recording the show.
Did he not put his bet in?
Probably didn't. Hi,
call him on Skype?
Hi, Pat. You're live on the show right now. I'm holding your phone up to the microphone.
Okay.
I don't want your bet yet because your bet, we haven't gotten to the betting segment yet. So you have time to write an email. I'm just giving you shit for calling me during the show.
Okay. I'm going to get on it.
Okay. Very good.
Just fucking text it, mate.
Okay. So what was that you wanted to tell me? Got to give him that hang up. He's a radiophile, so he'll appreciate the fact that I just did that to him.
Get it.
Alrighty. Going on to West Brom. Obviously, they're here probably a little sooner than they expected to be.
They also started very well.
Diangana is great. Pereira is great. I am baffled how West Ham let a guy like Diangana go on the cheap to a team that they are going to be directly competing with for survival in the fucking Prem.
What did Smokey say last week? What did Smokey say last week? They sold him to a direct rival.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of league position, projected finishing.
And they're going to spend more money on the replacement they want to bring in.
They didn't get enough money for him, so they were doing it to raise funds to buy his replacement.
Right.
But didn't get enough money for him to actually purchase the replacement.
Right. Ben Rama, who they wanted to go after.
Brilliant stuff.
I just, unreal.
It's like Mike Ashley cloned himself. It
So
really is.
Diangana and
Twice.
You heard Dildo Brothers.
And it went a little wrong, so they like dildos.
Heard. So Diangana and Pereira, both very talented. The problem is teams are going to figure out, keep those two in check, and we can see out games against these
Absolutely.
guys.
They started very well, but they did not have it up front. I don't know if Charlie Austin was hurt.
No, he came in on a sub, I thought.
No, he did not.
Okay.
I scored 0 points for him, having him on my team, because I thought he was a nailed-on starter.
Yeah.
And he was no.
No.
So I would...
Callum Robinson, and they brought in Robinson Cano. That's who came in as a sub, yeah.
So what I would say is they, at least Charlie Austin had one season of scoring goals in the Premier League and has some Premier League experience, right? I think that they need to get him in there and need to seriously look at splashing a bit of cash on a proper striker. I think they had... Now, this will be controversial because he can't stay fit. I actually think he may be unattached currently. In general, is used to play for Liverpool, left-footed. My mind just went blank. Black dude with Luis Suarez. Daniel Sturridge. Thank you. My mind went completely blank there.
Yeah.
I think he may be unattached at the moment. He did spend 6 months on loan there. So there is somewhat of a relationship.
Yeah, makes sense. And
but
like
he will get you goals if you can keep him fit.
Yeah.
You know, it may have to go on the Ledley King routine where only trains once a week and then plays at the weekend no matter what.
It's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season. And that's not saying that it's necessarily a bad thing. And going down isn't necessarily a bad thing if you don't spend all the money. If you're smart about how you go about it and you go, all right, you pull the Burnley method. We're going to go down. We're going to come back up. We're going to go down. We're going to come back up. And the next time we go down and come back up, we're staying up because we fucking did it right. So it's going to be a long season. There'll be some scalps. It's how the Prem rolls. It's how the Prem rolls, and they can be frustrating to people. I mean, watch them frustrate the shit out of us next week, and all my hopes and dreams are ruined. You know, that could very easily happen.
Absolutely.
Now, Palace. Great professional win, and I have to tell
this game for me failed to deliver altogether.
I mean, it wasn't exciting, but it was still it was a good fucking win for Palace.
Oh yeah.
And
it was a great result.
And I can tell you, the inclusion of Eze to the match completely changed my point of view about Palace.
Really?
Suddenly, Wilf had room to run because there was another guy with the ball on his foot that you had to fucking focus on.
And you know what he did with that? Got too excited and ran fucking offsides twice because he could have had a hat trick.
That's fine. but that's something, right? That's something more. For a team that is constantly old, there was an injection of youth, and it would appear that injection of youth can pay benefits to them. Now, looking at the Southampton side of things, I got to tell you, like, Kenny, you're not going to like what I have to say. This is exactly what Everton would do under Moyes, under Koeman, under Martinez, under Silva. You would finish the last season really, really strong. You come out and you play your first match and you own 70% of the possession and you dominate a game and you lose 1-0, walking away going, how the fuck did we just lose that game? And then your first 5 matches are done and you're suddenly 1-3-1 and you're wondering what the fuck has happened and why aren't we winning games, and you're suddenly calling for your manager's head. Like,
yeah. Well, I think they're trusting in Hasenhüttl. If they were going to fire him, and I'm tired of saying it, everybody's tired of saying it, it would have been after the 9-0.
Of course. But
they didn't.
What I'm telling you is they played a perfectly fine match.
Yeah, right.
Where they dominated possession. It's false pretenses.
I'm with you.
False fuck. I have lived this as an Evertonian. This is what I see every fucking season. I would see this over and over again. I'm just telling you, Kenny, welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Won't you come on in?
Yeah, mid-table mediocrity. Enjoy it. Southampton just never got out of first gear, in my opinion. Danny Ings wasn't firing on all cylinders.
70% of the ball controlled by the defensive midfielder and the center backs. Exactly what it was.
One of the best crossers in the game, and Ryan Bertrand blazed over at least 3 that I can remember in this game. You know, the service wasn't there. Shane Long had a couple of who works tirelessly and usually puts in a couple of good balls or maybe creates a chance or two. Doesn't score many, but creates a chance or two. Gives you something to worry about. He didn't do much in this game.
And
Ward-Prowse, I thought, was excellent in this game.
And God forbid you run into a keeper who's having himself a day. Guaita was having himself a day. That fell out of the carpet. We have our little rug that's hanging up completely fell off of the wall. We're okay. Don't even worry about it.
Here?
Yes, there's a ghost in here. It's coming to get you, Sammy. It's coming to get you.
We need to take a prayer break.
Can we at least pretend that it's like studio grade insulation? Did you have to call it a rug?
It's a blanket, but
well,
it just
first
fell
he
off.
said it came out of the carpet. Really, the carpet came out of the wall.
Yes.
Here at Studio H, we have nothing but the finest of equipment.
Something more important to mention about this game, when you say there's nothing, the game itself really offered nothing, here's something that it offered. VAR this whole fucking weekend worked.
Damn, you're right, actually. Don't fuck VAR. They did it correctly this weekend. It was absolutely fantastic.
There was a red card on the field.
Yeah.
The ref did this thing.
Deserved, because he was a former Tottenham player.
The ref did this thing where he listened in his ear and they walked over to the sideline and he looked at this thing called a screen.
Was it plugged in?
It was plugged in, and
they were plugged in last season.
He looked at it.
Because it had a screensaver on it.
And he realized that the foul was only worthy of a yellow, not a red. And he walked back over and he rescinded it.
You know what I love? And this is one for the books. I love how official everything has to be, right? And even though we know what you're doing, if you just showed him the yellow card, no. For the cameras, he had to lift the red again, wave it off,
right, and then
lift the yellow. Love it. I love that. Everything's a protocol.
All week.
We ain't skimping. Don't care that no one's here.
All throughout the weekend, they were you could tell they were checking plays with VAR. As the game was going on, they allowed the game to fucking continue. The refs checked the fucking monitors. Offsides were checked quickly. Amazing what happens when you take the responsibility away from the fucking English Referees Association and let FIFA run it and go, this is how the rest of the world does it, you fucking donkey dicks. This is how you're going to now do it.
Well, you know what worries me?
Yeah.
FIFA's in charge of it. The Glaziers.
Oh, it can definitely get bought off. Oh,
the Sheiks. They love a bribe.
Yeah, I take back every
not
statement.
those groups of people. FIFA. Loves a bribe.
I do. I take it back. I'm wrong. We're fucked.
I'm just saying, judging by the recent performance of the Court for Arbitration of Sport, those groups may also be prone, let's say, to a bribe as well. Allegedly.
So
moving on from there, the term dumpster fire actually got handed off ceremoniously in a match this weekend as Newcastle somehow looks like a professional football club, go fucking figure, beats West Ham 2-0 and then goes, "Here, West Ham, you are now the dumpster fire." And West Ham took it into their hands and they went, "Why, thank you. We take this honor seriously. We're gonna go fuck right off."
Do you want to stick around while we light it?
Yeah,
thanks.
We are pissing gasoline into this bitch. That's what's happening.
100%.
We are gonna light it on fire.
Oh yeah, this is, if the dumpster fire was Eminem's marriage, West Ham and Newcastle, or Eminem and Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying?
Nice old school reference.
Like that?
Love it.
I'm on fire today. Get it?
Much like West Ham.
Dare I say, na. All right.
Sorry. I mean,
sorry.
I want to keep it rolling just because we're going a little long, but you know what? Newcastle signed professional players who were doing a professional job and they looked good. Are they going to win every game? No. Are they going to be perfectly safe? Absolutely. I think this team could even be 10th place. Like they look good. They look good.
So there was no excitement surrounding West Ham at all during this game. But they did strike the bar twice in the opening stages. They actually had more possession, only just, but they did have more possession in this game and more shots on target and equal just about in overall chances. So West Ham did give a decent account of themselves. The problem is they're fucking toothless. And they had a massive problem with this last season.
Mm-hmm.
You needed Mikel Arteta. You needed Mikel Antonio to, what was it? 6 times his goals for the year.
Yeah, he scored 10 goals, and I think 8 of them were in the after
final.
COVID.
So 4 times his goal tally for the season happened in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah,
and
to keep you alive.
Yeah, to keep you up.
And here's the thing: if anybody gets hurt, they're fucked.
They're fucked completely.
They got nothing.
Absolutely. So there's an open player revolt.
There's talent on that team. Bowen is talented. Souček is talented. Rice is talented. They're talented. They have talented players. They're fucked.
And they have that X factor in Lanzini, that creative spark, that flair player. They have that in Lanzini. David Moyes doesn't know how to use him. The ferryman is killing that man's career.
And this team, here's the thing. They are no longer necessarily playing for the badge on their chest because it represents the board that they play for. They're just trying to play for the fans. You can tell they're because love them or hate them, the Iron Nation is fucking, they love their fucking club and they are huge for their fucking club. Like they're some of the meanest sons of bitches around. And it just, the team's playing for them, but it can only mean so much when all the working pieces around you are just saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very long, hard season for these guys. And God forbid players get hurt. There's no one to fill in. And what are they going to do? Go sign James Szykrowski? He's a phenomenal central defender. He is not going to fix all your fucking problems. He won't fix your fucking problems.
This segment brought to you by the Russian COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah.
Because we've had a Tarkovsky mentioned, even though he's legally a British citizen.
Yeah.
We did have a Iron Curtain reference, Iron Nation. And then you've got essentially Lenin and Stalin at the helm of West Ham.
In the Dildo Brothers.
Who are referred to as the Irons.
Yes. It's going to be a long season,
I ski, think skis, everything skis, okay skis.
All right, so real quick, the last match, Chelsea and Brighton. Brighton's got to be happy with the fact that they looked better than probably expected, and Chelsea's probably got to be a little upset that they should have been more cohesive, and clearly it's going to take more time to get this team on all cylinders.
Absolutely. We did forget to mention the other rocket, Jeff Hendrick.
Oh, that was a gorgeous goal.
Deserves a mention. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Chelsea, you're absolutely right. It's going to take some time to get everything back to normal. They had, for the first time in their history, an entire season of just one squad.
Yeah.
And look what it did for them. In this game, they did look a little disjointed at times. Jorginho actually played pretty positively for a change.
Yeah.
Not a ton of sideways passes.
But then got hurt.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. Gorgeous penalty he took at first. Timo Werner, great work to get into that position. Bit of a rush of blood to the head for Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Trying to come out and gather that. He ended up in front of the last defender when he slid in and took out Timo Werner. I think the decision was correct. Bit soft, but absolutely correct. He did catch him. There isn't much else to say about it. Oh, no. You know what? There is something else to say. Trossard had a lovely strike.
Gorgeous goal.
Another fucking fantastic goal. Kepa should have done better with it, but it's Kepa.
You know, it
Now,
is
to give
what
him
I like to call
touch of credit.
Yeah.
He maybe saw it late.
Right.
Maybe he saw it late.
I like to call that VFP. Valuable fantasy points. It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. As I pull my head away from the microphone.
I win.
Yes, you did. You hit your bet. Nicely done.
What's this game called? I win.
Yes. You win. The chicken hit. Pat split. I missed. Woohoo. All right. So now that you're up $120, how are you going to put that into a 6-part parlay that'll have you down $3,000 in a week?
Just two.
Just two. Okay.
Just a 2-part parlay. Same thing I did as last week. And that parlay is Everton to beat West Brom at home and Arsenal to beat West Ham at home. And surprisingly, given the way in which those two away teams performed this past weekend, they gave me a plus 137 on this.
Wow. I'm surprised you got that much. I'm surprised that wasn't minus 137.
Exactly. Given our two teams' performances and the other two teams' performances, I feel like I should have got negative odds on this.
Oh, yeah?
But I didn't. This would be like that horse. It's 1 to 5. So you throw $25 on him to win $5 and buy yourself another beer. Yeah, so plus 137, Everton to beat West Brom, Arsenal to beat West Ham, and I will be, I would imagine, $257 to the positive after the second weekend. Melissa, how do you feel about that?
Does that play into your losses from last season?
No, that's done and dusted. Bookie's paid. My legs aren't broken. Everything's good.
So now you think you're in the positive.
I am in the positive.
All right, so he's in the positive.
Somebody sold himself a lot of Tito's to get out of that gamble.
Goddamn right.
I'm
Thank you,
sure.
coronavirus.
Just keep up with your bookie. I hate it when he comes knocking on our door for you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Okay, you're only as good as your last result, and my last result was a goddamn win. Sorry, Russ.
So you're a big fat winner. Who's the big winner?
Me.
Okay, good.
I want a chicken dinner.
Heard. So Pat hit on Liverpool and got it all wrong with Spurs. Maybe he should have listened to me and known that they were going to lose. And
or just watch that documentary.
And finds himself down a whole $18.
And now it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
And it was here and then it was gone. There's the email. All right. Arsenal West Hamburger. Arsenal is favored, but I'm taking a draw at plus 350 in the primetime game on Saturday. Clearly, he did not see West Ham play. Sorry for the lateness. Long day of golf and football. And you know, the American one. And I'm drunk. And I gambled $700 this weekend and lost only 50. Woohoo! Fuck Miami and the Fitz interception on the goal line. I suck and... That is it. He finished it on and. No thought, just and.
You should never start a sentence with a proposition?
Preposition.
Preposition. Well, actually, you should start many sentences with propositions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but
Especially
a
on this
proposition
show.
should not start with a preposition.
Actually,
Correct.
I would like more drunk Pat to send in pics because that was entertaining.
Yes.
I could add that to his sound cue. Pat's drunk pick of the week.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
unless you're trying to make a point, and I just did it. See? Emphasization.
Very good. Emphasization.
If we're just breaking rules
It's
of
fine.
literary excellence,
Here
I
at
should
the
do it
football
too.
show, we're reinventing the English language.
Heard. You're on fire, Graham.
Come on.
You're on fire.
Get crunk with your pick.
So, Timo started, and you said he wasn't even going to play, but he started. Had a few chances. The penalty would have been a goal, but smart play. You go down. You feel the touch. You go down. You take the penalty.
I don't know that he was also getting that. Like I said, Matt Ryan ended up beyond his last defender.
Right.
A bit of a heavy touch to get around him. So going down, I think, was the only smart play.
Yeah. I just say it's.
I also think it was a nailed-on pen.
Right.
Matt Ryan caught him.
I figured he was going to score, and he just didn't. So, oh well. I'm down $100. It's not the end of the world. Now we just need to make that right.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
100% of the time, it works 0% of the time.
All right.
As it pertains to season 3.
Okay, well done. Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
That was on the fly, my friend. Straight off the dome piece.
Simple and easy. I'm going to do exactly what you did last week, Sam. Gunners win. Abba to score. Plus 114.
There you go.
I think it's a simple, and I think it's a guarantee.
You know what? I cleaned out the bookies for that $6 they paid me extra on last week's bet. 120. They only gave you 114 on that?
Well, because obviously he's going to fucking do it. At least they gave me 114. Now that's a pretty good segment, but we give you more. We give you our prognosticating pullet. We give you, boys and girls, Kitty the chicken.
Is pullet a chicken?
A pullet.
Pullet.
It was close. You know what? You have no room to talk tonight, Mr. Graham.
And I'd like you to talk about my pronunciation because I just asked you to pronounce the first word.
I appreciate how you spelled them out for me euphonically.
Yep, very good.
Euphonically or phonetically?
Phonetically. We're all fucked up tonight.
Hooked on phonics, wait for me.
Tonight's Drunken Tonight Football Show brought to you by Dad's Hat.
Brought to you by Reading Rainbow.
It will knock you in the mouth. So, went up to the coop to visit our chicken, and Kitty the chicken was incredibly pleased with her Wolves result this past week and hit the money line on the Washington football team to win.
Picked them to beat the Eagles. Look at her.
I still say it should be Washington team football so we can call it WTF when it inevitably goes bad.
Between that and her boo, Jamie Vardy, getting picked number 1 in the DU draft league,
Yeah.
she was in a great mood and was just clucking away. So this week, I gave her Man United hosting Crystal Palace. Now, Kitty immediately went into the coop, pulled out her phone, and showed me a picture of her on Rory McIlroy's, did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Woohoo! Bag at the Pro-Am of last year's U.S. Open.
I didn't know she caddies from time to time.
Wow.
Well, she's a very busy chicken.
She doesn't have opposable thumbs, though.
But apparently she sees the course well.
She gets shit done, and she's still able to operate her iPhone. So don't ask too many questions here, dude. That's your question, not the fact that my chicken has an iPhone?
No.
All right.
No,
Cool.
because you're extra as an owner.
I mean, I really am. So she also, in that foursome with Roy McIlroy, was Justin Timberlake.
Bringing sexy back.
So Justin and Rory are both big United supporters. So I'm guessing that Kitty is going to take Man U for the win.
Pretty safe bet.
Typical Northern Irish sellout. You know that?
Well, my chicken knows her shit. So
Staying true to the crown.
just remember, everybody, to, as always, remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
This used to be DU Talk, but we ain't playing.
Nope.
If you've missed it, this is now our fantasy segment because we did a draft on Thursday, and you should listen to that shit show.
And it's going to be a really short segment because we're already over an hour.
Yeah, it is going to be a really short segment. I'm going to very, very quickly give you the fixtures from the week. Results. I won over Keith, 37-23. Wow, this was a nail biter. Ray, Gym Teacher FC, winning over Elliot, NY Toffee 89, 32-31. Woohoo, very close. Alan Brody, Carlos Brow, 27-11 over Russ. Hit the mute button, Melissa. Ralph Hampton FC tops Ted Lasso FC. That's Kenny over JB 37-33.
Ooh, big winner. Big shocker.
That's big time because JB is fantasy nut job.
Yep.
Taint misbehaving. Taylor, the Wi-Fi was not hitting. Didn't get to change his lineup. Lost 26-33 against the Canna Cup 11 by Jimmy. Up in the old
his number one pick overall though did score him 2 goals.
Vermainshire.
Yes,
because I don't remember where he lives.
Heard Vermainshire.
I just know it's somewhere with trees.
That does cover the entire Northwest corridor.
Correct.
Northeast, yeah.
Northeast, so I will allow it.
Heard.
Yes, I just know it has trees in it. He lives by the big oak on the left. This amp goes to 11. Chris Firehawk, another gooner, by the way, topping Villa Girl Lindsay Williams, 35-25. Big Dunk Love Train punched David Geckel's speculative at best right in the face in typical Dunk fashion, 42-31.
Wow.
And then Rob Holmes Gunner Tech lost to the big winner of the weekend, FK Big Samsk, obviously paying homage to our good friend Vitaly Trubilya and the lovely people at FK Slutsk.
Personal friend of the show.
In
Personal
Belarus.
friend of the producer.
Heard.
In Belarus. He liked my Instagram post the other day.
He's got a lot of time in his hands.
They are playing right now.
Key thing to know is your number 2, your second round pick overall. Allison scored you exactly 1 point, which was only 1 point more than Taylor's team, who didn't even have a starting goalie.
That's fine. I'm not worried about it. He will settle in, as you said during the breakdown.
My 8th round pick scored 10 points. Thank you very much, David. Guaita.
Yeah, Guaita.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick, that gives you top of the league, 52 points. Big Dunk Love Train, 2 Everton supporters top of the league. Well, you don't really have good football to support, so you have a lot of time to research shit and do things.
Except we're already going to win the league. Thank you.
Big Dunk Love Train, 42 points. Ralph Hampton, 37. Me on 37. I don't know why he's in 3rd and I'm not. This amp goes to 11 in 5th. Canna Cup in 6th. Jim Teacher, 7th. Carlos Brow, 8th. Ted Lasso, 9th. New York Toffee, 10th. Speculative at best, 10th. Gunner Tech, 10th. Taint Misbehaving in 13th. Unlucky 13th. And he lives on a taint. Villa Girl in 14th. Magnificent Pies in 15th. And hit the mute button. They won the league, but they're in dead fucking last in your hearts.
Hey,
so what you're saying is so far, I drafted a better team than Russ.
Yes.
Just wanted that on the record.
That's it. We will hopefully have more time for this segment next week where I can talk proper shit.
Heard. Well, that about wraps it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
No. Check out the video of Neymar slapping someone in the back of the head. Pretty funny.
I know where you can talk lots of shit.
Where's that?
www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow,
Yeah.
where we will bring you the docile tones of DU After Dark, more cock jokes, and things of the like. I ran out of things to say.
I think she was expecting you to talk about the drunkard DU drunkard UFC page.
He was on the same wavelength. I was.
All right,
that was a volleyball spike. I went lop up into the air, and then Graham staunted over and went ploop.
Whenever she gives me that look, it's to plug the Patreon.
What she doesn't realize is that's exactly what I was supposed to do. So that meant I was behind you. She never had a chance to set it to you because I bumped it to somebody else completely. So the whole play got fucked and we lost serve. That's exactly what happened.
Sounds about right.
See, you know what you don't get on other shows? We know sports, bro.
We try.
Okay? We know all sports. Okay,
we do try.
I'm sure Kitty told Rory to hit that sweet fade. All right,
Absolutely.
on 16.
She even told him which club to use,
and it worked out well.
All right. Well, so anybody that's new to checking out the show, seriously, it's great to have you. San Francisco Evertonians, it was fun watching the match with you this weekend as well. Anyone who, if you have your supporters group, you're doing a Zoom, and you want one of us drunk idiots to jump in and be part of it, please feel free to email us at dufootballshow@gmail.com. We'd love to come jump in and hang out with you, get your perspective, because frankly, when we do this show, we want kind of all the fans' perspective. Like I always say, this is the people show. Period.
100%. And Uncle Sam's not paying my wages, so I will do it for a nominal fee.
I I will
Did you
do
see
it for
his
free
face?
because I
Did you
actually
see, Mel,
like
did you see
people.
his face?
And I won't do it because I only wake up for Villa games.
All right, everybody. So next up is Injury Time. More of the same, where we preview next week's show. I'm not going to have Sam plug the Patreon again because fuck, we do it enough as it is.
We are whores.
Till next week, everybody.
Mel, you need to FaceTime Brandy.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!